Welcome back. This is section 10.1 on rotation and revolution, and this is 9.1 in your textbook. So the big idea in this entire chapter is the idea of centripetal force. And centripetal force is the force that acts towards the center of, say, a rope with a ball attached to it. The ball is going around and wants to go in a straight line, but because it's being continuously pulled by the string, then it will go in a circle rather than go straight out. It's tied to the circle. There's a force of tension, a tension on the force, a tension force on the ball from the string that forces that ball to continuously change its direction. It wants to go straight, but it doesn't. And that force is called centripetal force. And the centripetal force will make something go in a circle. Today's lesson, I think, is very simple. There's two main ideas, and that, if you're talking about circular motion, and that's rotation and revolution. And I think you may actually have a good idea to this. We'll go through it, though, anyway. If you have an ice skater spinning around in a spiral, you have an axis inside of that ice skater, and they're spinning around that internal axis. Then they're rotating. They're not revolving, they're rotating. So the Earth has an axis and will spin around in 24 hours on its axis, and that is called a rotation. So the Earth rotates around its axis. If the axis is outside of that object, so the thing that you're spinning around is not inside you but outside you, then that's called revolution. So the Earth revolves around the sun. The sun is the axis point, and the Earth goes in a huge circle around that axis point, and we see that the sun is actually providing the gravity that's acting like the string on that rope, or that rope on that ball, that's pulling the Earth in a circle. And so the Earth is moving in a circular motion because of that force. So it does two different things. It rotates around its axis once a day, and it revolves around the sun once in a year. So this is a good example. A Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel itself is all one constant wheel, and it has an axis, and the whole wheel spins around that axis. So that's called a rotation. So it rotates on its axis, the whole wheel rotates on its axis, but the cars around the outside are not rotating around an internal axis. They are rotating around an axis that's outside of their car. And so they are revolving around the Ferris wheel, and the wheel itself is rotating. I like that example. Okay, what are the two types of circular motion? You have rotation, where there's a spin around an internal axis, and then you have revolution, which you have a spin around an external axis.